Hello and welcome into the show, everyone. I am Preston Poole. That is Tyler Adams. This is Unadvised here on the Sports Animal YouTube, Facebook, and right here on our very own X account. It is April Fool's Day, but there will be no jokes today because T-Bag, I don't know about you, but this is one day where I'm like, really? This is what we're doing, guys?
I'm not an April Fool's guy. Hold on, sorry. I forgot to fill up my water bottle, so I was making a makeshift water. All right, we're gonna go now. I'm a little dehydrated. Yeah, I'm not an April Fool's guy whatsoever. I was telling Matt Ravis earlier today. I got pranked pretty bad. When I say pretty bad, it wasn't like traumatizing. It wasn't like over the line.
Yeah,
it was one of those pranks that genuinely made me hate April Fools. It was like 7th grade, I think.
Ugh.
And me and my buddy used to carpool for years, and his mom would take us to school, and my mom would pick us up. And on our way to school, she got like a phone call from like her husband or my buddy's older sister, and was like, "Hey, the middle school's flooded, so like there's no school today." And so she full on turned around, took us back, like acted like she was dropping us off. Right when she turned into the neighborhood, she goes, "April Fools." Oh. And like it was like 10 minutes of like planning out our day, like what we're gonna do, like we're gonna have a Call of Duty marathon, then we're gonna go, outside to the wilderness, and blah 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 blah, and then we get in. It's just like April Fools. You guys are actually going to school today.
That is,
and ever since then, I swear to you, I've hated April Fools. I'll never forget that day.
That is tough. Yeah, I don't think I ever tried or got pranked on April Fool's Day, but it's just so dumb. That's the way that I feel.
My favorite college football tradition is the change of the turf. Like, we're changing our turf this year.
Yeah, I think Arizona State pulled that one.
Cal, Berkeley, I saw did as well.
And then I saw Oklahoma tweeted out that they are no longer doing any more social media videos.
Yeah, just fine.
Because
just football.
Yeah, just football because of that one tweet that went viral the other day. So I thought that one was good. But yeah, I'm out on all of the April Fools. Like I think it was Clutch Points, maybe that does a lot of stuff with the NBA. Tweeted out that the Luka trade was getting rescinded, and I'm like, you got to make it at least like somewhat believable. Like that, that is in no way believable at all.
No, that's he's been playing the purple and gold for quite some time at this point.
2 months.
We've moved on. We've moved on.
Exactly.
That trade has come and gone.
Yes, 100%. Speaking of the NBA, we've got a pretty good NBA team here in Oklahoma City. By the way, if you're watching, hopefully you're weather aware tonight, because it seems like it could get a little nasty tonight. So pay attention to that. But yeah, we've got a pretty good basketball team here in Oklahoma City, who last night broke another piece of NBA history as they improved to 28-1. Against Eastern Conference teams this season. That would be the best record against an opposing conference in the NBA's long history. So these guys just continue to go out and break records every single night, and I think it's pretty impressive that this record against the Eastern Conference, because that tells me that really whoever they play in the finals, if they were to make it to the finals. But by the way, I've got a point on that later that I want to make.
I'm excited for that one.
They should be, decently, well off against
well positioned.
Yeah.
I think people are grasping it now. And it took myself a second to grasp it, because it was like, maybe like, no, this can't. No, it's not. This team, Preston, is historic.
It's the greatest team in NBA history.
Like, it is historic what they're doing.
Yeah.
And, it don't mean a damn thing without the ring. Like, you have to win a championship to submit that legacy.
And they'll all tell you that, right? If you listen to all their stuff.
Yeah. Every post game, they're stacking days, and they're preparing for like one goal.
I heard you guys play that audio this morning. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, stacking days, because I know you hear a lot of the press conference clips. I cut up a lot of stuff too, and I was just like joking with Curtis this morning. I was like, stacking days is like that's gonna be my new motto. Like, we're just stacking days here. And so I kind of just started running off with a joke after that. And they stack days, and stacking days just means we're we're building for a championship right now. You know, we're not worried about what's going on. Like, we have bigger pictures. Like, we've already done all that cool stuff with records and history. But, I mean, this team's historic. I mean, best record versus the other conference ever. Point differential. They're leading the point differential. They're going to win that. Total net rating. They're currently tied with, is it the 96, 97 Bulls?
Yeah, I believe so. One of those teams, yeah.
One of those two teams, Bulls, at 13.4. So they have a chance to be the best net rating team ever. And they also still have a chance to be the third team to ever get 70 wins. And if they don't get 70 wins, they're still going to be top 7 in wins all time, top 6 wins all time for an NBA team. If they get a championship this year, Preston, if they get a championship this year, they're going to be, because the media won't talk about it, because people are talking about the Thunder more. I'm not going to sit here and complain that the media isn't talking about the Thunder, because they are. If you turn on ESPN every day, at least Oklahoma City is mentioned in some regard.
Yeah.
Or this morning they did a segment on the Thunder. Can they get 70 wins?
Oh, I mean, if these national media isn't, they're doing a bad job at their job.
Yeah. They are talking about the Thunder. But if they do win a championship with what they've done in the regular season, and I'm sure if they win a championship, it will be pretty similar. I mean, not as dominant in the postseason because it's so much different, but if you tell me like they're going to win a championship, like, yeah, I think they're probably going to lose only 3 or 4 games along the way. Like, I think they're that good. Maybe 5 or 6. You know, I think the finals and West Finals could be a little bit tougher. But nonetheless, you know, I could see a world where they do roll. And if they do that, they might be the most criminally underrated NBA team of all time. Because if you just look at the numbers of what they've done, I mean, think about how good the KD Warriors were. The Steph, KD, Clay, Draymond
and
Warriors.
the 73
and they're better
win.
than them.
Yeah. And the 73 win.
Better than them. Yeah. I mean, outside the 73-9 Warriors with the record, they're better than them in all the other stats.
Yeah.
You know, outside of wins, they're better than all the other stats. And I mean, it's just remarkable. If they win a championship this year, Preston, they're going to be arguably. I mean, I still wouldn't put it past, you know, one of those Bulls teams, you know, in the late 90s.
Yeah.
Or maybe even like the early 2000s Lakers that three-peated too. But they're going to be one of the best teams to ever suit them up.
Oh, 100%. I already think that they are, you know, obviously statistically and all that stuff, you know, one of the greatest teams to play in the NBA, you know, at least regular season wise. And I agree. All that is for naught if you don't win a championship.
Don't mean a damn thing.
I mean, we all remember the 73-9 Warriors, but they didn't win a championship.
They're not talked about in history like that.
They got beat by LeBron and the Cavs in the finals, and should have got beat by the Thunder in the West Finals if it weren't for a, you know, amazing collapse by the Thunder in that series. So 100%. And the thing that gets me, Teabag, is I sit there during all these post-game shows and I read the text line, and you take all the calls, and you just are hearing what the fan base here in Oklahoma City and you know, even the fans across the country, because we do have people that text in across the country for these post-game shows. I don't think they understand how good this team is, because
that's what
constantly we're getting texts in about, are you worried about the Mavs? Are you worried about the Wolves? Are you worried about the Lakers? Hell no, I'm not worried about any of those teams.
I'm not. Could a team beat the Thunder? Absolutely. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you they're unbeatable. Am I worried?
No.
I'm going to go into every single series confident that they're going to win, because they have proven time and time again that they are winners. That's what they do, no matter who's on the court, no matter who's playing good, who's playing poorly, no matter what. Whether they're having an off night shooting. There's only been one night they've had an off night shooting that was a complete collapse. Yeah. And that was the Bucks in early mid-December. In a game that doesn't even count toward the record. In a game that doesn't even count toward, not even toward the record, toward the history book. That doesn't count for anything. And that's the only game where they're like, they played that crap that day. Even in games where they played that crap offensively, I look at the Clippers game a couple weeks ago. They still win the game on the road in a dogfight.
And I think that's just because their defense is so good at the moment. And people want to say, well, you know, the whistles are going to get tighter and stuff, or, you know, they're going to let guys play a little bit more, I should say, in the playoffs. Cool. That's fine. Let them do that, because the Thunder will get less fouls called on them.
Yeah.
Right.
By all means, it's like everyone just thinks like Shea. Like I hear Cowherd talking a lot about how he doesn't see Shea getting the whistle in the playoffs, and that's going to affect him. Like, sure as hell didn't affect him last year.
Yeah.
Like, the Thunder, this is another thing, too. I always just come back to this. The Thunder lost to the Dallas Mavericks in 6, who ended up winning the Western Conference Finals, and they beat the Wolves easily. So I would argue the Thunder were the second best team in the West last year. The Thunder didn't have their role players consistently step up like they needed to outside of game 1.
No, J-Dub was terrible at the playoffs against the Mavericks.
Shea outperformed Luka.
Yeah.
Shea proved he's a playoff basketball player last year. I think those lumps that they took last year are going to help him this year. And impressed in every single game, they were in it until the very end. They were one. The one time Shea messed up was at game 6, where he fouled PJ Washington on the corner 3 with 2 seconds left.
Yeah.
And that's what gave the Mavs a win. Shea doesn't make that foul right there. Who knows? We come back to Oklahoma City for a game 7. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what happens? And you know what else that team had last year? He's playing great this year. But that team had Josh Giddey, who was a clear liability. Yeah. That team had Gordon Hayward, who was a clear liability.
And didn't want to be on that team at all.
They replaced that with Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein.
Yeah.
Those are going to be getting the minutes that those 2 guys had last year. We traded 2 white boys for 2 better white boys is what we did. And I think it's going to just go to show in the playoffs that, hey, like we had a lot of J-Dub was a no-show. Chet had his moments where he wasn't great last year in the playoffs. And they still were right there in a game 6 on the road, about to send it to a game 7 before a foul on a 3-point shot with 2 seconds left.
It's crazy. Stu on YouTube says, what happens this offseason? Do we pick swap our first for one down the line or run it back? They're going to end up trading some of those picks in the first round because they just can't take all of them, right? And a lot of people forget they still have their first round pick from last year, who hasn't played a single game at all this season. So
and AJ Mitchell too.
Yeah,
I mean, he's played, but he's going to be I think he's proved that. Yeah. In the 20 or so games he did play that. This guy's a ball player.
Yeah, and hopefully we hear something on AJ Mitchell here in the next week or so about his injury, if he is going to be back this season or if they're just going to shut him down for this season. But I don't think they really need him in the playoffs. A guy like AJ Mitchell, I thought he was played great the first half of the season that he actually played before he got hurt. Right now, though, it's all about Chet and Aaron Wiggins, because while Chet has been able to play, he hasn't looked the best. Now, I don't think that he needs to be like, the best Chet we've seen right in the playoffs. He just needs to be out there, because when he's out there, he, makes things happen, right? Like guys don't want to drive into the paint when he's down there and stuff like that. So as long as he's like out there and, healthy enough to, maybe get up a couple shots, get some boards and stuff like that. I'm not saying he needs to go out and score 20 a game in the playoffs, right? I don't think that, but if he can get around 10 points and affect things on defense, I think that's good for the Thunder. But yeah, he just definitely hasn't looked good the last, couple of games.
I mean, and I'm not gonna, I want to see he has it. I know we talked about this morning. He hasn't looked good. Isaiah Hartenstein's been the clear key big guy over the last few weeks. But I mean, you look at that Celtics game. I mean, Chet you don't win that game without Chet. The Celtics game on the road, that is. I mean, they obviously won game 1 against the Celtics without Chet, but that second game in Boston, I mean, Chet was a dog. I mean, Chet was amazing. So it's like I still look at that and be like, all right, he still has it. He's just got to find it again. And Chet knows. Chet is a guy that understands the game of basketball. I have full confidence that Chet is going to be, maybe not the superstar we were, or the superstar, maybe a stretch, the star we were hoping to see whenever he came back, like he looked like at the beginning of the year. But like you said, if he can be on the court and he can just contribute to the best he can, I don't think it's be much of an issue.
Yeah, no, 100%.
He just might win by 15 instead of 25.
Yeah, right. And more that I sit back and I watch this team, I think that they're. And obviously, the playoffs are a different animal. I realize that, but I don't think there's any team out there that can beat the Thunder in a 7-game series.
The Celtics are the only ones I give a fair shot to.
Yeah. Even them. I mean, they're going to try and jack up like 100 threes against the Thunder. And look, on nights when those are falling, that's all well and good, right? But on nights when those aren't falling, you're going to get demolished by the Thunder, just like they did the last time they tried it.
Yeah, the last 2 times they've tried it.
Yeah. So That was my point on them in the finals. I really do think like I'm going to Vegas here in what a month and a half, and I will be placing a bet on the Thunder to win the NBA
Yeah,
championship while I'm out there, because I'm that confident that is going to happen. I just think they are by far, in a way, the best team in the league this year.
full on agree. Full on
Yeah,
agree. I mean, it's just the another thing for me too with them is they are. You can tell how much they're just. You can tell how much the culture that the Thunder have built over the last 16, 17 years, whatever it's been, is in full effect right now. The culture that Mark Dagnall's built in his
yeah,
5 years, 5 years as head coach, has come in because they're still diving for loose balls. They're still playing their ass off against, I mean, the Bulls are playing good, but I mean, we all knew they're going to take care of against a business against the Bulls last night, but they're still just taking care of business. They're showing up and they're doing their job, and you can just tell that they're committed. They're
yeah,
super super committed right now,
yeah.
and that's just what makes me all the more confident.
And then games like last night also like just reinforced my thought that people saying, "Well, watch out for the Lakers, watch out for the Lakers." You mean the Lakers, a team that couldn't beat the Bulls, which Oklahoma City had a 40-point lead at halftime on? You're telling me
Twice.
that's the team that everyone in the West is supposed to be scared of, is the Los Angeles Lakers, who couldn't beat the Chicago Bulls twice in a week? And then they go to the brink. I forget who they were playing last night, but they go to the brink in that game. They end up winning that one. The Lakers do, but it's like, come on. I understand the Lakers and the Celtics are the two biggest brands in the league, right? It's like what the Steelers or the Patriots back in the
Yeah,
day, right? In the NFL, or like the Yankees and Dodgers
the
in baseball.
Packers.
Yeah, exactly. But that doesn't mean that they're always, a threat to win it. Like they haven't been a threat to win a title since what, 2020,
2021 maybe.
2021. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, they've made a couple runs, but like
the
they
year after they won the championship, they kind of ran that team back, so they thought, oh, they could do it
and
again,
they
but then
made it
they
to
let
the
it losing
West
the
Finals against Denver the year that Denver
and got
won it.
destroyed.
Yeah, so it's just like, come on, guys. Like LeBron, yes, 5 years ago, 100%. Any team that has LeBron on it, okay, but LeBron's old now. He's still playing great, but LeBron's old now, and it's just him and
He's not the
Luka.
number one.
Exactly, and I don't know. Yeah, Jake on YouTube said the Lakers narrative drives viewership. It's in no one's best interest, include the NBA, to say they aren't winning. 100%, and I agree. But let's not sit here and try and shove that down everyone's throat when everyone knows that's not true.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show who's watching the games and who's not.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. How many games do you think Thunder lose the rest of this regular season? They
One.
got 7 games left.
I think they're 69-13 at the end of the year.
Yeah, I think some guys probably sit here going forward and all that
I mean, they
stuff.
kind of got a tough little stretch coming up. They got the Rockets on the road. I mean, I can see them dropping to the Rockets. Rockets are going to be wanting to get that game for sure. But then again, the Thunder just seem so motivated to
Yeah.
win these games, especially the big ones.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Lakers, maybe they drop one of those. But, I mean, I'm not going to be shocked if they get 70. I just don't see them winning. They're at a 10-game win streak right now with 7 to go. So, winning 17 in a row is hard, like very hard. Not a lot of teams win 17 in a row. I'm not going to put anything past them. I think they can do it. But if I had to make a bet on it right now, I say they drop one more over the next 7.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think one loss end up with 69 wins is a decent season,
which is fun. 69 wins is fun.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on the Thunder before we move on to the NCAA tournament, the Final Four?
I think we covered it. I mean, we could go all day, Preston. I think we both probably go all day, but
yeah, we can go all day glazing the Oklahoma City Thunder,
gosh.
but we'll move on to the Final Four. So last week I said Florida and Duke are the only two teams in my mind left that could win the national championship. I have now revised that, and I think Duke is the only team that can win the national championship upcoming. I just, when you sit back and you look at it, I was watching that Alabama game. Duke is so long. They have, the offense, and they've even got more length, right? And they beat the hell out of Alabama with Cooper Flagg not even playing his, up to his potential.
He's a stud. Oh my gosh. The fact that he's really just a senior, I mean, he's a freshman in college, but he's really should be a senior in high school.
Yeah.
He for gone.
Yeah, reclassified
Yeah,
to
reclassified,
go into
whatever.
college a year early. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he just turned 18 in December, I think, something like that. I mean, he's unreal. Duke's unreal. I do think Houston's gonna be able to give him a hell of a fight because I mean, we know Kelvin Sampson teams around here. I mean,
Yeah.
Preston, you grew up with Kelvin Sampson teams. They are relentless. You might be able to beat them. You might.
It's gonna be
But it's
tough.
going to be a freaking dogfight along
They're
the
gonna
way.
make you work for it.
So
Yeah.
I think maybe I'm going to take Duke, and I'm going to take Duke to win the national championship. I'm with you. But I think if there's a team to get them, I think it's going to be Houston. Just because they got a little bit more experience. They're veteran laced. They're gonna be. If Duke just doesn't have their shots fall, and a couple of those freshmen might get maybe just a little uncomfortable, I don't think they will, because they seem just like bona fide stars that don't care about anything in the moment. So I do lean Duke, but I do think Houston definitely have a puncher's chance in this game.
Yeah, I think Houston, obviously defensively, they're probably the best team defensively left in the four teams. I can't get over the length that Duke has.
Yeah.
I mean, they have just like three white dudes that are like 7 feet tall and I can just ball, right? And they've got guys on the outside that can knock down shots and stuff like that. So
I'm just gonna deny that Duke's gonna win a national championship until they do it. That's another thing. It's just I
think
we talked about
tradition, right?
We've talked about this on the show. Growing up, I literally had North Carolina gear.
Oh yeah,
like I had like 2 or 3 things North Carolina growing up because I hated Duke that much.
Yeah, no, 100%. I did not like Duke. I like North Carolina. And just hated Duke. And that there's been a bunch of people. I know Big Cat has said it, but this unfortunately is one of the most likable Duke teams in recent memory.
The players, the coaches are a lot more likable than anything Coach K put out there. But then you remember those Duke bags, the Duke bag fans, the New Jersey never, even lived in North Carolina for a day in their life and have
never
no
even seen the campus
Duke whatsoever.
Like
those guys that live up and down the East Coast, the Wall Street, all those just Duke bags is the best way to call them. They come from all walks of life. They're the worst. It does go to show too, Preston, just how big of how big of a rivalry Duke North Carolina is. That like when you're a sports, like me and you obviously grew up fans, pretty big sports fans growing up. It's kind of led to where we are today. That if you're a decently big sports fan growing up, you kind of pick his side in the Duke UNC rivalry.
Oh yeah,
which I feel like in any other rivalry, you kind of just root for whoever the underdog is that day.
Yeah, no, 100%. That or
like Michigan, Ohio State, like I just flip-flop every year. Be like, what would be the funniest result? Right now, the funniest result is just Michigan winning every year.
Yeah, just
it used to be the funniest. It used to be the funniest result was Ohio State winning every year because that's how it was.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just kind of flip-flop on just those big rivalries like that.
And then whoever the Yankees are playing, you cheer for them because screw the Yankees. By the way, we'll get into some Yankee talk here in a little bit. I got something that's been grinding my gears. Yeah, we'll get into the torpedo bats here in a little bit. So right now, Duke a 5.5 point favorite over Houston. That one will be the late game on Saturday nights in the Alamo Dome. By the way, I'll get this take off my chest right now. Playing basketball games in football stadiums or whatever you want to call them, it's stupid. I don't like it. Let's play it in a basketball arena. I don't care if you want to fit 50,000 people in that stadium. It just looks stupid to me.
No, I totally agree. It's always just been, it's not aesthetically pleasing at all to the eye.
Yeah. And I still maintain if that game in, 2016 against Villanova wasn't in a damn NRG stadium, Oklahoma probably would have won the national championship.
It played anywhere. I mean, you make an argument because OU was an offensive juggernaut that year. It really, the Alamo Dome actually is kind of one of the better places to do it because it doesn't feel as
it's not big. Massive, right? It's like a smaller
it's like when you're at like Jerry World or NRG Stadium or something where you just got seats at an incline like that.
Yeah.
For like the first like 70 rows, then it's pretty bad. Could you imagine though how expensive a Final Four ticket? I mean, Final Four tickets right now for nosebleeds and that are like $200.
That's
So could
crazy.
you imagine how much a Final Four ticket would be if it was only like a 20,000 seat arena?
Yeah, there'd be like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. By the way, Alamo Dome, kind of a dump,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
that's another thing. It's
I'll
like I was
say.
like, we're still doing events outside the Alamo Bowl at the Alamo Dome.
Yeah. That place, went there for the first time when Oklahoma played Arizona in the Alamo Bowl, and I was like, this place sucks.
I've never been there.
San Antonio, great town, but the Alamo Dome is garbage. I'll say that. And then the other game, the early game at 5 o'clock on Saturday night, Florida and Auburn. Florida 2.5 point favorite here. This game to me is a coin flip. It can go either way because both teams really. I mean, Auburn's been playing decently, I think, this tournament, but both teams, especially Florida, the last two games, has just not been playing well. Obviously, Janai Broome for Auburn. It honestly to me looked like he broke his arm the other night in that Elite Eight game, and I was like, oh man, he's going to be done. But he came back. He only played one-handed.
Hey, he had the most man rebound too with that one hand.
Yes, with one hand. So we'll see how healthy he is going into this game on Saturday. But this game is interesting to me. I think the Houston Duke game is the better game overall in the Final Four. But this game is interesting to me because Florida just beat the hell out of Auburn in the SEC tournament.
I think this is one of those games where this might be the game that's the game of the tournament. I think this is going to be the over under is like 160. So Vegas is telling you it's going to be fairly high scoring. We're going to see buckets fall. We got Janai Broome and Walter Clayton Jr. Right, the two of the most electric players in the country right now. Walter Clayton Jr. for Florida just were making those unreal threes against Texas Tech. I still feel bad for Texas Tech fans. What a horrible way to lose a basketball game. Yeah, I think this is the game of the weekend. I think this is going to be one of those ones where it's like this might come down to the last 10 seconds, like who has the ball last kind of thing. That's what it's going to come down to.
I agree. I was trying to see if I couldn't remember if it was Florida or if it was Tennessee that beat Auburn in the SEC
Tennessee,
tournament.
I think.
I don't know why I can't find that on.
I'm pretty sure it was Tennessee.
I think it was as well. I'm trying to see when those two played in the regular season. 90-81. They lost to Florida in the regular season. So that's what I was thinking about there in that one. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. Obviously, we'll be. I think it's me and you on Saturday.
You and Sam.
Okay, so Sam and I. So we'll talk more about those games on Saturday.
Also, whoever is working with me a week from Saturday, I feel sorry for them in advance because I'm good at the cross country in Ragweed and Stillwater. On Friday night. I'm gonna be a shell of myself. I'm gonna be a shell of myself.
That'll be a fun little concert, though.
Yeah. We're getting to Stillwater at like Curtis, Phil, Spinozzi, Carrie. If any of you guys are listening, I plan on taking work off that Friday. Actually, we're letting get in the Stillwater at like 11 a.m. and just gonna get it rolling.
Hey, it's the best way to do it. That's my more speed of a concert there than the one I'm going to in Vegas at the Sphere, which is Kenny Chesney. Now, don't get me wrong. I can get down with some Kenny Chesney. Not my first pick of concert, though. I will say that, but that was the only thing going out the Sphere while I was there. But that Red Dirt concert definitely is something that sounds like a blast. So
yeah, it's just a reunion to the first time they played together in 20 years. So it's gonna be nuts.
And I heard you talking today about special guests or anything. Has anything else come out about that?
No, I mean Gundy kind of just hinted that there's gonna be a special guest, and then kind of a lot of people are saying, I've always said this: Stillwater is a small town, small knit community. Word can kind of spread pretty quick around there with some certain things. And I saw it's kind of a lot of people hinting that Zach Bryan, because he's in with Gundy, he's an Oklahoma State fan, that might be potential. But kind of the more I think about it, I'm like, that just seems a lot more fan fiction than anything.
Yeah.
Like, I still know. I mean, maybe. I mean, I don't know if Zach Bryan's a cross-Canadian Ragweed fan or not, but I think it might be Co Wetzel. That's going to be my guess because Co Wetzel has a song about cross-Canadian Ragweed. Co Wetzel has a lot of ties to Stillwater. He plays in Stillwater. I mean, when I was in college, he was playing in Stillwater. It seems like every month.
Yeah.
So that's probably my guess is it's going to be Co Wetzel.
That would be awesome. I think Co is pretty good. That sounds like a blast. You'll have to let me know how all that goes. What else do we have here on the Final Four. I think that was all I had. Do you have anything on the Final Four before we move on? I've got a college football topic to bring up if you
Let's
want
get
to
to
move
it.
on to that.
Let's get to it.
This came out, I think it was yesterday, but Coastal Carolina. Have you seen this story?
Yes.
It's for a school their size. I think it's pretty cool. Coastal Carolina is introducing unlimited free concessions at football games this upcoming fall. So you walk up, you get you a hot dog, some popcorn, a water. Now I would assume if they do serve alcohol in the stadium, that won't be free.
They're going up, if
Yeah.
anything.
But I would assume like, your soft drinks, your waters,
Yeah.
your nachos and stuff like that's going to be free. And I think that's pretty awesome for a school, the size of Coastal Carolina, who they're D1, but they're not like, one of the big D1 schools or anything like that. They're not in a massive conference to do something like that. Now, obviously, an SEC school, a Big 12 school would never do something like this. But what they could do is when you go into the stadium and you buy a beer and a water, it doesn't cost you $20, is what they could do.
Or they could at least be like, hey, this is going to get an NIL. Half of this is going to get an NIL, so I do at least feel a little bit better about buying alcohol. So it's like, all right, at least this might get to a new linebacker.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Maybe me feel just a little bit better about my decisions with the beer buying and stuff. Yeah. I know the MLB has done this too, and I know it's worked tremendously where they have they've really knocked down some of their prices, like fan-friendly prices, where I know that like some stadiums are doing like $3 or $4 beers or something. Maybe it might be cheaper. It might be.
Well, the Atlanta Falcons have done that for a handful of years. So I think since their new stadium opened up.
Yeah, and then I know a lot of because MLB stadiums, they have all those like crazy fancy foods. Well, I don't know if fancy is the right word. Crazy foods. I don't know if those are necessarily cheaper, but I know your basic nachos, hot dog, popcorn, fountain drinks, water, and even beer. A lot of stadiums, a lot of MLB stadiums are cheaper, and it's really helps with attendance. And,
yeah,
it really does make sense for MLB teams because it's like, all right, 2 p.m. on a Wednesday in the middle of May. Let's get out of work and go spend $50 total to watch a ball game.
Yeah, and I still think a beer at a sporting event should be a max of $5. Like, especially if you're giving me like the like a tall boy or like the aluminum bottles. Like, come on, we don't need to charge $15 for one of those. I can go to the store and buy like a 12-pack of those for $20.
My freshman year of college at OSU, I remember, and of course I never bought any Preston. A beer was when I was 18, was like $6 at Beer Pickett Stadium, and now it's $10. So just in 4 years, it's gone up, $40 or 5 years, whatever it is.
But
7 years. 7 years. Wow, I just realized it's been 7 years since I was a freshman in college.
Yeah. Wait until you hit like 10 years. 10 years post high school graduation. That'll hit you pretty hard.
I know I was 10 years ago. I was a freshman in high school because I get my memories all the time now, and that's even just like, oh, dang.
I graduated high school 11 years ago. So there you go. Getting old, not fun. Not fun. All right, that's all I had on college football. Other than I saw some videos of Oklahoma practicing, doing some one-on-ones in front of the media earlier today for one of their fall practice. I haven't seen anything out of Stillwater today. I did see them say that they're practicing. I didn't see anything out of practice.
Gundy and I think a couple players talked to the media, but I haven't heard anything. I'll listen to a little bit of that tonight. Kerry Murdoch also out there. If you're listening, you're calling Gundy an ass the other day for not being good to the media. Mike Gundy has talked to the media twice in has talked to the media twice in 1 week, and Brent Venables has talked to the media once in 3 weeks. So I'm not blaming Brent Venables. Brent Venables will talk to the media again, but come on, Kerry. Me and Kerry out of war, by the way, Preston, right now. Come on, Kerry. You can't call a guy an ass when 2 times in 7 weeks, and the whole reason you're calling him an ass is because he doesn't, he's not good to the media, which I think he's kind of changed his tune on over the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, no, he seems like he's got different vibes over the last couple of years. Maybe it's just him getting older.
Yeah, I think it's just more him realizing this is just part of the job and he can't quit it.
Yeah,
no matter how hard he tried.
15 season in is a crazy point to realize that's part of the job. But you know what?
Well, I think he tried for 15 years to quit it, and he was just like, "I'm going to beat the media. I'm not going to have to do this." And then I think he just realized it was probably during COVID when he was like, "Even COVID can't get me away from these guys."
Yeah,
it's probably and I feel like that's kind of when he really changed his tune on media access.
Well, good for Mike Gundy. He's one of my favorite characters in this state for sure. So, all right, we're gonna talk about a little baseball here because this has been just, I don't know if pissing me off is the right term, but it's been grinding my gears a little bit. A, because the Cardinals haven't decided to start using these damn things, and B, it all started with the New York Yankees. So we're talking about the torpedo bats. Now, look, these bats, if you don't know, look them up. The barrel of the bat is thicker, right? It's more round than the rest of the bat, right? Not by much, but it's bigger, which that means that if you swing at a pitch and you might have, popped it up, now you might make a little bit more solid contact and drive that into the outfield or, something like that. So the sweet spot basically of the bat is a little bit bigger now. And this all stemmed from Anthony Volpe of the Yankees being absolutely terrible at hitting a baseball, right? So they had to bring in a MIT nerd or something like that.
How does it take an MIT nerd to figure this out?
Yeah, exactly. By the way, these bats have
been rocket science. It's a bat.
It's a piece of wood, like a solid piece of wood. By the way, Matt Pinto informed me they've been selling these bats for years now, like to the young players and high school players and stuff like that. They just haven't been using them in Major League Baseball. So these bats have been a thing for at least a couple of years now at this point. So but anyways, they get these bats, and coincidentally enough, the day the Yankees start using them, the Yankees score 20 runs against the Milwaukee Brewers, which Brewers have had a tough start to the season, as Jake says on YouTube. He also says, speaking of pissed, did you see the Brewers fan? No, you'll have to I'll have to look up that video. Actually, I don't know if I want to look up that video.
I'm on it. This is
I have not seen that, but Brewers fans can't be too happy because the Yankees use these bats. They scored 20 runs. And then last night, Ellie De La Cruz of the Cincinnati Reds used this bat, hit 2 home runs and 7 RBIs. So there's obviously something with these bats. Now, Ellie De La Cruz is a great player, so I think he could probably do that with a regular bat anyways. This is just me mainly saying we need to look into the New York Yankees and possibly get them suspended for the season.
Yeah, just cancel the New York Yankees. Preston, if this was any other team that came up with the solution outside the Chicago Cubs, would you have cared?
I think the Dodgers would have
pissed me off
as well. Yeah. Outside of that, no. But like I said, let's get a box of these to St. Louis so the Cardinals can start using.
That's the thing. That's the thing. It's like any team can use these. More bombs, please. More home runs.
Technically, the rule is the bat, when it starts, it from the tip of the bat down to the knob, it has to be like one size and then get smaller. So on these torpedo bats, obviously it starts, gets a little bit bigger, and then comes back down. Mm-hmm. But obviously, if the MLB had any issue with it, they would have, nipped it at the bud real quick with the Yankees. I think this is just a play by the MLB saying, damn, this is getting a lot of hits online. That's what we need right now. Okay, everyone start. Yeah, I mean, again, if the Cardinals start using them, they start mashing home runs.
That's the thing. We just need everyone just needs their team to start using them to
exactly. Yes, I won't have a problem with it, but I just think it's Rob Manfred seeing, well, damn, our game is at an all-time low viewership wise. This is getting a lot of traction online. All right, everyone keep using them, and we'll figure it out later.
I also thought at the beginning that Aaron Judge was using the bat. I thought that entire Yankees lineup. Then I learned it's just a few guys that Aaron Judge wasn't, and so that's when I kind of really, because at first it's like screw the Yankees, and just being that guy. And then once I realized Aaron Judge wasn't using them and still had 3 home runs in a grand slam today, 5 home runs in like 2 games or whatever it was. He's just off to a monster start. Then I was like, okay, like if Aaron Judge is not even using him. He's still dropping bombs. So it made me change my tune because I thought that's why Aaron Judge was having the success he was.
No. He's just a very good hitter of the baseball, and that's the thing. Even and by the way, the Yankees just hit another damn home run right now. So
are you serious?
Yes, as I'm
I
watching.
didn't know. I didn't know if you were kidding or not. But
Oh, and guess who it was? Anthony Volpe just hit a home run. Yeah, there we go.
Are we the new like Castellanos people?
Yeah,
You know.
Yeah. How about that? Right on cue. Anthony Volpe hits a home run for the New York Yankees to tie it up 2-2. So I just completely lost my train of thought there. These damn bats have gotten.
I did see the Brewers piss video.
Yeah.
And Jake is right. He's hosing the stadium. He's out in the middle of the concourse, just full on. It's out, and he's letting it loose.
I saw the video of the old man letting one go like at the bar. He was like standing at the bar and just like starting. I'm like, dude, what the heck? You can't do that.
The best fan video, and it's a baseball game too. Just a fan just throwing up on himself over and over. And it's disgusting, but it's hilarious.
Yes, because there's a good chance we all know someone that's been that way before, right?
Yeah.
And it's always like, really, dude? Like, come on, man. Come on. Yeah. No one wants to be around them. And it's just like, come on, dude. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But yeah, let's get these bats either outlawed or to every team. Because like you said, Aaron Judge, I think he even came out and said, why the hell do I need one of those bats when I'm just fine? You know, I'm good.
Fine. Yeah. Real quick before we get out of here, vibe check on the Cardinals.
I said I wasn't going to watch them this year. I've watched every single game. They're playing.
I knew that was going to be the case.
they're playing right now against the Angels. They dropped their first game of the year yesterday. They're leading 1-0 right now in the bottom of the second. So, they're not going to be good this year, but I can enjoy having a record above 500 for the moment, and that's what I'm going to do. So
enjoy the ride.
And if they keep playing good, maybe I'll just have to drive up to St. Louis and go to a couple games 1 weekend this
Nothing
summer.
wrong with that.
So, yeah, not at all. But all right, anything else on your mind before we get out of here?
I think we've gotten it all. Like I said, I could talk Thunder all night long if we wanted to, but we got things to do around here.
Yeah, we've got. I haven't even looked at the weather yet. I don't know what the storms are doing, but if you're out there, pay attention. Obviously, if you live in Oklahoma, you know what to do. So.
I got my 12 gauge. I'm ready to shoot that some bitch.
Yeah, get your beer and sit on the front porch and watch it come in. That's about what you do here in Oklahoma. But all right, that's going to do it for us. We'll be back probably. I think the Thunder plays Sunday afternoon, so we'll have to figure out when our next show will be, because obviously we can't do it on Sunday since we will be busy doing Thunder stuff. But until then, thanks for watching, listening. Have a great night, everyone, and be safe. See you.